This is your Captain Adam speaking. We apologize that Jez may sound like a robot during this program. We have attempted repairs, updates, and mild percussive maintenance. Unfortunately, this is the best we can do. Please like it or lump it. Thank you for flying, Housecast.
Walsden, send more house to save the house. Come on, the house!
So we have a special impromptu recording tonight. So welcome everyone to the Housecast, Lowerhouse Cricket Club. It's becoming legendary even more podcast. A couple of young lads on today who are going to talk us through probably is one of the best matches I've seen, performance-wise and the commitment and everything that went into the game. But before we go there, we'll just introduce our other co-host. We've got Gary Morris with us tonight. Hey, guys.
Evening, Jez, you all right?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Yeah, all good. It's a last-minute thing there. Thanks for jumping in.
No problem.
I'm not really sure where to go with this, but Joe Martins, he sent a message saying, I can't make it. I'm having to take Charlie Gansler home.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure, has he taken him home because he's kidnapped him over the last few nights, or has he taken him home because he's picked him up? I don't get it at all, Gary. Do you know anything more?
I know you were doing a bit of a naked chauffeur service on side for a bit of cash, but...
Yeah, I suppose Charlie would be one, a good-looking young lad just coming back from injury, so it would be good to get him one of his first victims. Guests. So we're going to crack on quickly with this because tonight is the England game against Ghana. It's in about an hour's time or so. So we want to get through the podcast. We didn't think of leaving it for a day or two or a week or two, but one of the participants is not here. He's going to sunnier climates, I believe. So we'll crack on and hopefully rattle through this in about 30 minutes. Again, the reason we've done this is because at weekend we were playing top of the league. First team were at Walsden away, and we won quite convincingly, I think it's fair to say, 62 runs. I can talk through my thoughts of how the game was going and how it changed. But it'd be really interesting to get two young lads to talk us through their thoughts on it. So I'd like to first of all welcome Henri Cottam onto the podcast. All right, Henry?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, all good, thank you. You're both looking cool sat there. Looks like you're in the Caribbean or somewhere. Thanks for coming on. And it's a last minute thing, and Joe's done a great job in getting all this together, so I really appreciate it. I really want to get into your ribs about your thoughts, your feelings. It's a shame that we can't have Showcat on. I understand a few difficulties, but we definitely do need to get him on and help him through and talk him through, because what a performance from him. But I have the trio that really, there's no easier way of putting it, simply won the game for us. Is Keagan de Vries. How you going, Keagan?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, keeping well.
Lad.
You're cutting out a bit here.
Yeah, he's gone, I think.
Was he signing all that underwater to you and all?
Yeah, I'm really struggling to hear him. Yeah, has that been happening a lot recently?
I don't know. I'm just about to message him. Are you back, Jez?
I think so. Yeah.
You sounding really croaky and in and out.
Is this any better now? I've got on my phone now.
No,
not really.
No problem. Keagan, just describe how you felt on Sunday night and how you come down from it.
Not really, because it was Father's Day. It felt good. My dad was watching. I just felt amazing, really. Just was in a bit of a flow state, really. Felt good.
Yeah, and it's not.
It was coming.
It's good to finally put the hard work in the nets into game.
Yeah,
we've been doing a lot of work with Ben and Salpy and so on.
Yeah,
in the nets and in training and so on, just trying to get the most out of his batting. And I think, well, he couldn't have done it in any better way than he did on Sunday, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean that's good of you to describe it like that, Henry, because we're aware of the work you lads put in. You still daft as brushes, you're young kids, you're learning the game, but you all work so hard to get to places like that. But it did cause a bit of a shock, I've got to say. Not just for you, Keegs, the way the Showcat battered and the way Henry battered as well. So if I can just go through the game from the start, and please, I'll come into you and ask you your thoughts and what it was like in the dressing room. You've opened the battered Henry with Ben. Ben's out quite early on. He got 8, I think, off the first over, and then he's out off the last ball of it after hitting 2 fours. Henry, you look like you're managing it. It looked like a bit of a spicy wicket, a bit seemed to swing around early on. What were your thoughts then when you've Tom Walker coming in, who's only a young lad as well, and yourself? How did you talk about how you were going to plan the innings going forward?
Yeah, me and Ben spoke midweek about how we were going to go about the innings because obviously Walsden's quite a small ground and they have 2 fairly similar opening bowlers. They like to bowl it quite full and swing a couple away from you and then try and trap you on your pads. So we spoke in the week about taking the game to them and trying to put at least one end under pressure. And that's what Ben tried to do from the get-go. Obviously at 2 fours and then didn't quite get one away. But that was our plan from the start, to really take the game to them and put them under a lot of pressure. Because obviously they're top of the league, aren't they? And they're going well. So.
And they played well, Henry. Let's not get away. They bowled well. I think they.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously I can't see it like you batters, but it did seem to be swinging up quite a bit and also a little bit of seam movement, which made it difficult. So Tom Walker comes in. You're both young lads again, Henry, but you're both organised. You both seem like you communicate between each other, and I thought that settled down quite a bit. And I expected then Tom to go on a little bit more and push us through and get a good score. 20 overs to go. We're only 3 or 4 down, and then we can have a real bash. But then Tom all of a sudden just he got bowled by their opening bowler Gale. And it seemed a real bit of a shock because he didn't look to be much trouble. What were your thoughts when he got out?
I think it was a pretty good ball from Joe. Joe always has one that swings back into the right hander, and I think it might have taken Tom by a little bit of surprise.
Right, yeah.
But Joe's obviously a very good bowler, so no shame in getting out to him at all. Sorry, go on.
And he did bowl well. It was hot, it was warm. He bowled well. He ended up with 3 wickets, but it just seemed a little bit. Oh, crikey! That I didn't expect that. Then Dan came in, and Dan looked in good nick as well, playing. But then he got out all of a sudden. It all just seemed to be a surprise for me. Did you feel that at the other end, Henry?
Yeah, I feel like they got wickets in very key points. Like you said, me and Tom sort of built a little bit of a partnership together. I think we were both on around 20, and then they took us in the key spot, brought the partnership. Me and Salpy then had a little bit of a partnership, and then again they brought the partnership, and then obviously took Francois fairly early. So I think their wickets were in very, very key moments of the game, which were obviously good from them.
And that's why I'm going to bring you in, Gary, there, just so I can try and give you the picture of what was happening. It just seemed prime the way we played the last 2 or 3 years. Experienced players, working out the game. Then you can almost put your house on that one of them is going to do a good job on pitches like that. But we've lost Tom, outstanding player, really young. Dan's gone. Frankie's gone. Really, in no time. And again, it seemed a bit of a shock. From here, 64 with Henry and Showcat there. I mean, going back in our day, guys, we'd have been looking to make 80 and 90 then, no matter who was coming after it. Did you see, even from afar, you look at the scorecard, etc. Is that something that surprised you when you see the young lads there and the 3 of them knuckle down and do what they did?
I think, obviously, like I said, there was no stream and I wasn't there, so I'm going purely off the card. So if I get something really badly misinterpreted, apologies for that. And obviously, we were texting quite a bit later on, but no, I think just talking about that first half of that innings or the top of that card. It doesn't surprise me, Henry's innings at all, because I think there's been a few of those at different positions in the batting order this season, where the temptation of everybody, be aggressive, back yourself, play your shots, etc., can be seen as just everyone swing from their arse, and it's not. There's right times of doing it, and And I think there's been 2 or 3 innings to me, just watching on streams previous games, where maybe batting at 4, 5, 6 away, you've come in at those sort of things where you've got 30 or a 40 or a 20 odd in a sticky period, but everybody else has been able to play around you. And I think it's such a valuable asset in a side like that where with so many stroke players. And again, you don't have to score at 150, to have an impact on a game. And what that did, that just set the stall light then, I think, for that platform to soak up a couple of overs, a few overs, if that's the right thing to say. Whether the wicket then, like you say, the conditions got a bit easier or changed slightly. Still a good side, like you said, Jez. So I think at the top of the order there, that 50 odd from Henry, I think it allows that platform further down to say, okay, well, we have got to 120, we have got to 140. Can we get to 220? And that's what I was thinking about that stage when, before Keagan had come in, I think, thought, well, Shawkat, he was going run a ball from the start by the looks of it. And then thought, well, yeah, if he hangs around and others chip in, we get 220 here, we're competitive. I don't know, where you were on the square, whether it was really short or whatever. But so for me, that set it up. Like I say, a lot of experienced players there, sort of went fairly quickly. So good on you, Henry, for knuckling down and doing what you needed to do at that point.
Gary, that is 100% exactly how it was. Henry's almost the backbone of this side. But I've got to say, and I'm going to come to you in a minute, Keagan, just to ask you what the dressing room was like. With Ben out, then Tom's got out, then Dan, and then Frankie. But Henry, I felt you looked comfortable. I didn't. There was no stage where I thought you were going to get out in that early 20 overs, especially when they're bringing the spinners on. We're not giving secrets away. You were probably one of the best players in the side of playing spin. Once they did that, you look comfortable. What was it like, Keagan, in the dressing room? Was there any panic? Was there a how we're going to cope now?
No, I don't think there was any panic. It was quite they had belief that, we could put on a decent score to.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think they had belief in yourself, so then you could believe that you could do it, sort of thing. So yeah.
I mean, don't give secrets away, Keeg, but do you get any tips off the likes of Ben or Frankie or certainly Dan?
Definitely recently, I mean, in the nets with them a lot more. I've tweaked a lot of stuff in my setup and stance and how where I stand on the crease, and it's just all they've just worked back on my game play because they know I have decent hand-eye coordination and I can hit the ball. They've just worked back from that, and then it's clearly working, isn't it? So
but in the dressing room, you're getting your pads on. We all know what it's like. They lose a few wickets. You're getting your kit together. Is there? I can't start to think what it's like in the first team dressing room now because of the positivity. I mean, Gary really was generally the other way around. Everyone were panicking until someone did something well. Now it's a case of things aren't going great. Who cares? If someone will step up to mark. Were you given any advice in the dressing room before you went out to bat? Anything? Any instructions?
Not necessarily. Me and Ben had a net before the game, and we just focused. I'm just standing in front of all three, and they basically give me a plan. Yeah. Just if it's in my slot, I can pull it wide to cow, and then if they drag it wide, I can just go over cover, and then everything seemed to work out when I went out there.
So we'll get to that in a minute, Keagan, and we look at Frankie's out, Henry. I've known you since you were knee-high to a grasshopper. You don't seem to worry about things. You're quite calm and collected. When Frankie's out and Shawkat's coming in, what are your thoughts then? Are you changing your game plan at all, or?
Not really. I think maybe a couple of years ago I might have done. I might have gone into my shell a little bit and sort of got, into one of those sticky situations. But I think now, with the way that Ben and Dan have driven this side, it's just full belief that everyone that's going to come in, even down to Joe Martin at 11, is going to come in and score a good amount of runs and build a good partnership. Because I know that he even But I didn't back with Keagan, but I know that we've had a couple of partnerships this year where we've done pretty well together. So it's this whole belief in the whole side that
Yeah.
uh, if we're 9 down, if we're 1 down, we're still gonna put a competitive score and win the game.
And when you have that between you, and that's why I love the three of you, the way you played, and it was, it's ironic that other, the more experienced players get out, and you've managed to do what you've done all together. That is so unique. That is really quite rare. Showcats come in. It's worth mentioning to the listeners. Showcats been at the club for a number of years. Came through the junior section. Is a real talented cricketer in the second team. He bowls fantastically well. He's very accurate. A really good spin bowler that doesn't really phase himself. He's played a few first teams this year. He got smashed at Clitheroe, but he comes back and bowls quite well. I've never really seen him bat any length because I haven't watched much of the second team. When he's come out to bat with you, Henry, are you comfortable with the way you are with the running between the wickets and the game plan for the next 2 overs, 5 overs, 10 overs? What's your thoughts then?
I think it was just what my thought process at the time was just making him feel as comfortable as possible and actually just letting him bat, just letting him do his thing in his own mojo. And I'll be at the other end supporting him and trying to put runs on at the same time and build a partnership with him. I don't think there's ever a lack of communication or anything. He was actually talking to me more than I was talking to him in the middle.
Yeah, he likes.
He does like, yeah, and
he
he's like,
loves to tell you what to do.
he's a little motivator, to be
Yeah,
honest with you, when
brilliant.
he's like, oh, what a great shot, that sort of thing, when you hit it, and he's quite vocal with it, so he almost puts the other team off.
It's-
You could see that he was confident in his own ability. He knew that it's big pressure. It's as big as he's playing, but he was okay with it. He wasn't, panicking and looking around or, got crazy signals that only ranking can. So you have batted, so well with him, and then you all of a sudden take over the role of, right, we're now through to, we're getting towards 80, 100, you're getting towards your 50 partnership with him, and then you'll start hitting that pro. And it was quite simple, Gary. It's a bit of a straight ground as much as a square from Henry's left hand. He's relatively short from where the pro was, but then those sixes would have gone in most grounds, Henry. It wasn't because it was a small ground. And that, for me, when you started and you weren't being any more positive than you were, but it changed the game. That you realise, I think, therefore, we're going to hold this fight for 120. There's other kids to come because there's another homework. And you changed it there, Henry, in that, no, we won't. We will carry on. Showcat is not phased by anything. And they had no idea that Keagan de Vries would have come in and do what he did. It was amazing. Were you, clearly, you're always disappointed when you're out. I couldn't say, you're out LBW. What were you feeling walking off there? Did you feel there was something good going to happen?
I was more disappointed, to be honest with you. I wanted. That's another thing with the team, that we take ownership and we're like, we want to be the person to win the game for the team. There's no shuffling responsibility on any others. So when I got out, I was pretty annoyed, to be honest with you, because I wanted to get us to be the one to get us to a good competitive total.
Yeah. So you're right, Gary. I don't know what you are a very knowledgeable man about the cricket. I was sat with Matt and we were looking at the batting lineup and who's going to come in next. And, Paddy's been batting down at 9, 10, 11, some people, 8, 9, 10, should I say. Some people say he's wasted there, some of the spectators we see. What were your thoughts about Paddy coming up the order and coming in when he did?
He's more than capable, isn't he? Well, that's doing him injustice. He's a very good player. So I think you could safely put him up there, not as a gambler or whatever. Like you say, just to Paddy. I mean, I don't know what the thinking was, whether the batting lineup changed to reflect how the innings was going. The lads might be able to shed some light on that. You could argue where we lost 2 wickets twice, very close together, that actually Charlie might have been the one with a bit more experience, or just to shadow everybody through to the end of the innings. But equally, that with all due respect to Charlie, this is not a date or anything, but in the current way the innings panned out, that would almost been a negative. To back the lads to go and do their thing, how they've been playing in the nets, how they've been being, by the sound of it, being coached recently, clearly was the positive thing to do. So, I mean, I don't know whether, we'd have sent, Frankie or somebody, to try and just like smash it 30 off about, five overs or something, and it very rarely paid off. And it's tricky. I think that we've said it many times, class batting lineup. Everybody would get probably in every other side in league. And it's really tricky to sort of judge one individual. How they've been, pumped up the order a little bit, I think.
Yeah, and you're right there. When going back in our history, we would think, right, you don't need two young lads batting together. Let's try and throw in a Paddy or a Charlie or you or me or you've got to break it up. But it's so good that Ben is brave enough to think, I believe in these lads.
Yeah.
Keagan, was there a change in the batting order during the game that you're aware of?
No, I don't think. I think it said
the same.
Yeah, it was always the same.
Which is really good, but from an outsider looking in, like I said, I'm sat with Mark, I'm chatting to the other spectators, and we're thinking, cracking, let's just say a short cat, should it have been Charlie, should have been Paddy, but no, let's do what we're doing. So, Henry, unfortunately, you've got out. Paddy's coming. Again, I've got so much faith in Paddy, a top player. Not struggle a little bit, but just wasn't, maybe as good as it has been over the last 2 years. He'd take for a duck off 9 balls, which Shawcat's still there. And again, doesn't look phased whatsoever. So you come in, Keagan. Henry, you've put on 60 odd, with Shawcat before that. Keagan, you've come in and we're 127 for 6. There's quite a lot of overs left. Does that play on your mind, Keagan, or do you just not really look at it?
Not really. I try to keep away from the scoreboard and just play my game.
Yeah.
More pressure on you looking at the scoreboard.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I've faced so many balls and I've got that many runs. Sort of puts you down, doesn't it? So I just try, just play within myself.
Yeah. And again, that's a real modern way, the way that Dan and Ben have pushed the side, that, we'd rather be 230 all right with 10 left than, 190 for 9 off all the overs. We believe in ourselves and we want to get out there. Did you feel comfortable with the pitch? Are you someone that looks at the pitch and thinks, right, if it's in this slot, I can do this. If it's there, that?
I normally hear it from other people on what it's doing and how it's playing, but for myself looking at it, I don't really know myself.
The pitch was pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah,
there was value for both ball and batter.
Yeah.
There was bounce in it, but then there was also you could stay within your shots.
Yeah.
Showed why Keagan got so many little balls.
And there was some pace in there as well, Keagan, that would bring it onto the back for you. And you've come in with Shawcat. I've got to, all I can comment on, and it's not a criticism, but I just feared that one of you was going to run the other one out.
It's like buying a lottery ticket running with Shaka. It's always fun and games. I don't think he hadn't run me out in a while yet because you just have to be very vocal with Shaka. But other than that, because I've played with him so much in the twos, he sort of knows now. But then he's very keen for a cheeky single.
Yeah. And you played it, with against far better fielders who pick the ball up quicker and are more accurate. And it wasn't any close run out, so I'm not suggesting that, that it was a major issue because it keeps them on the toes. But they still appeared a little bit down there, even when, they got Henry out. Whilst I've praised Henry for what he did in the moving the game on with those 6, I'm not saying the way you just flipped the switch completely appeared to knock them for 6. They didn't even know. I don't think they expected it. I think they saw it coming out, but we're going to get in quite quickly. Was that something you sensed when you were out there playing against them?
No, not really. I went out there with a plan. I had a few feeds from Ben before, so I felt comfortable.
Yeah.
And anything in my slot, I just sort of put my hands through, really. And then just went on from there. And then the pro started bowling, and he was matched up better with me than he was a lefty. Yeah, so we just tried working around that.
The thing about him is that he doesn't really think about the occasion or the opposition or who's bowling him based on reputation. He sort of just sees ball, hit ball. sort of
Yeah.
thing, which like such a good mentality to
Yeah.
have. Because you
Try,
can,
yeah, go off feels really,
yeah,
instead of who it is.
Yeah, I don't think you need to worry much about the fields, Keegan. Well, the shot you were out to, you miss it that, and you fluff that one, and there were one of the six that I saw that you didn't really connect. The rest, within six on most grounds. And I'm sure you've seen it, Gary. There were 11 sixes, and it was quite. It's really interesting to watch good side Walsden, experienced players, and they couldn't believe it. They were looking, and their pros going for two sixes and over, if not more. Shawkat to the other end, he's almost like he's got this big grin on his face, thinking, "This is fun, this is great, laugh," and they are not liking it at all, thinking this has got to stop. At one stage, we could talk about getting 100, Keegan. It would have been fantastic, but it does not detract anything from what you did. You just completely knocked them for six, literally. The shot you were out to, did you proper cloth it? You just didn't see, it was the longest part of the ground, I know, but it was never going to go.
Probably should have dragged it a bit wide or just punched it for a single and let Shaki take it on with the left arm. But I was in that moment and it just felt right.
Yeah.
Hindsight's a great thing, as Frankie said. So.
Yeah, you can't, no, you shouldn't go back and think about what is. You'll have a lot more of those moments. You'll have a lot more where you can get in that position. You carry on the way you are. So you're out, and you've put on 120, 119 with Shawkat, which is an amazing knock. Shawkat's probably 20 before you've come in, maybe a few more. But what was interesting me there, 2-4-6, big score. But there was still around 10 overs to go. And, I'm looking, and it's one of those games, Gary, where I'm thinking they bowl us out for 270. Which can happen. They go out, there's positive batters, some good players. The momentum's with them. But again, Charlie, so experienced. And the way he played, dead straight, working it, and then went for the fours and sixes. Toxic again. Toxic coming in. He batted at 4 or 5 most of the season, comes in at 10. Again, 28 off 20 balls, and then Joe Martin, make sure they don't get any points, but gets us beyond that 300. And they were on the backsides. It was red hot. They're on the backsides, so it was a real credit to them that they got to where they got to, the 250. I think the last 40 or 50 runs were quite irrelevant because the game had gone. How did you feel, lads, Henri and Keagan, in the dressing room at half time? Was that you're obviously elated as young kids and you performed extremely well. What was the attitude like in the dressing room from the senior players?
Very positive, wasn't it?
it was a great atmosphere.
Very high feels. Yeah, it felt great.
There was a lot of pride, I think, from a lot of the senior players, just seeing what we did and sort of training going to plan, and a lot of smiles on faces because they were very proud, and they said that after the game too.
Yeah,
brilliant, and that's good. That's good. You two appreciate it. You two get it. Certainly your dad's in there, Henri, so he's got to be buzzing his head off. To get nearly 200, you're 192, I think, between the three of you with the extras and the partnerships. It's over 200. I was aware that Tom Walker was itching to get on the pitch. He was itching to bowl as fast as he could, and I genuinely were expecting a few wickets early on and a few quick. He was bowling quick, but there was not a lot of short stuff from Tom or from other people. Was that a tactic that you were aware of? Or do they not tell you?
Me and Salpy in the game, we were both first and second, and then
flips and the wickets into the game.
At one point, we had 2 gullies, yourself and
myself and my dad were in gully, so I think we were just trying to play the stumps, LBW, and a lot more variable dismissals into the game.
Yeah. And we got a wicket early on. Well, they got 29. Hansen's out. Was struggling a bit. I was really impressed with Frankie because, like I said, it was a really hot day. Frankie's bowling well there. His figures, and he got 2 wickets, but 46 off 8. I don't think he deserved that. Their pro appeared to bat, relatively confident. If he can hang around, and you've got Gale, you've got Tierney, they're good players. These players who've played for a long time. It was still on. I thought, when they. In the 3rd and 4th wicket, the over 50, getting towards 100. I thought it was still on. And then, Ben makes a great decision and bringing Shawkat on. Were you two pleased to see him come on and pleased to see him get a chance like that?
I'm always pleased to see Shaki on because it's just a mystery bowler, isn't it? I can't pick him in the nets.
No one can.
And then when he starts coming round the wicket and then he starts changing, then because he'll get somewhat used to him and then he'll switch it up and start bowling round the wicket and you're like, right,
yeah,
facing a new bowler.
Yeah.
So again, it's great that Ben puts trust in the young lads,
Yeah.
in them a really big moment, because he could have easily put Paddy on or Salpy on or someone, and he's put his trust in Shawkat because he sees his ability and what he can potentially bring to the game.
Exactly what we said, Henry. It would be interesting. I've not tasked Adam to look at this. When was the last time Paddy Martin didn't bowl? I understand why they opened up with Tom and with Frankie. Salpy comes on quite early on, but then brings Shawkat on. So it's a great all-round performance, quite unique the way it's gone. But it's worth mentioning 160 for 7, then 199 for 8, and they've managed to get that extra 40 or 50 runs at the end. But they were clearly never going to get towards the total, and I'm sure that they were angling to try and get a bonus point batting or maybe 2. So brilliant catching up and listening to what you've had to say to us. It's worth explaining to the listeners. We've got our host back. Have you managed to drop Mr. Gansler off? Have you got rid of him?
Yeah, we had a lovely car journey.
Yeah.
There's some very eclectic music.
Right. You couldn't dial in on the car, could you?
I think that's dangerous, Jez. We've had experience of that before.
But Charlie could have held your phone.
I've got to concentrate on driving, Jez.
So you can't listen and talk whilst you're driving?
Well, not whilst that's going on, because I've got to think.
Right, okay. Anyway,
I'm not Ralph Schumacher. I'm not a racing driver, Jez.
How's things? You give us your overview. Give us a 2-minute overview of the game on Sunday.
Excellent work by the youngsters.
It's not 2 minutes.
They play
about 2 seconds.
It was great, really great to watch. I was sat on the balcony next to Charlie and Paul Stanley, and we had a lovely time. Just watching.
Too many laps.
I don't do. I'm banned from lapping.
Okay, bye.
So I was sat next to Paul Stanley, sat next to Chaz, and I had a lovely time sat in the sunshine watching Henry bat, Shawkat, Keegs, then Charlie. It was great.
It was
really great to see, because I think in previous years, probably when people have come into the team, they've probably not had a go, and that's not because we haven't wanted them to. It's been the nature of the team and how strong it is. So it was really good this weekend to be able to say, just go and play. And Henry batted fantastically at the top of the order, and has done so for a few years. But he batted brilliantly, and was really positive. That was the great thing against a really good professional. It was really great.
We've been through all this, Joe. If you'd have dialed in, you'd have heard it.
Well, I was on other duties, but you did ask me what my opinion was, so I'm going to carry on, Jess. Shawkat batted extremely well, very measured, and then Keegs. I don't think I've said to a few people, I've not seen anything like it. I have genuinely haven't.
I've said that earlier.
Oh, have you? Well, we've said it again, so there we go. It was great. So that's my assessment, Jez. Fantastic.
It was really unique. We described it as how 3 young lads have got nearly 200 runs. Shawkat's done the ball, and it will be interesting to see what your thoughts are of the way we spoke about it, Joe, because Henry's knock, when he started hitting their pro for the Sixers, and it was never, it was the anchor of the innings, but it was never, scoring too slowly or anything. And then also we changed with those Sixers, and I could feel something was going to happen, whether it was Keegan, whether it was Charlie, or Paddy up top, or even yourself. It became that there's something special going to happen here. Instead of us looking to get to 180, I could see that there was something good to happen because of Henry's knock.
Well, one of the things about Henry's knock for me, especially against the spin, was that he didn't have a single scoring option. He had multiple ones. So the he'd come down the track and use his feet and hit over mid wicket and cow corner, slog sweep, and also when the pro didn't want to be hit on the leg side, he got his reverse out and played well.
Yeah.
And then when he went a little bit shorter, could work it off his pads. So I think he just played extremely well. It was really great. Really great to watch.
Yeah, 3 different innings which contributed to one of the best wins I've ever seen. But I'm going to wrap it up now because we've got other commitments on. Gary, I'm going to come to you next for any comments before we conclude. Then I'm going to come to you, Joe, to see what you want to say before we finish. Then Keagan, and finally Henri. Gary, we've only done this talk about this. The Seconds won a great victory. They are top of the league, which we'll hopefully cover next week. Your final thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's going to let these lads get carried away and think they're the bee's knees. They'll be, kept grounded, etc. And it's only one game, but it gave me a real warm feeling at the end of Sunday just to sort of see a game won by the people you don't normally expect. If somebody turns around and shows you the card, doesn't show you the names, 300 and odd a place, 250, he said, oh, probably Ben's got a ton, or Salpy, or Johnny Whitehead, or whatever, or maybe Tom's took 6 for, and what a great card that is to look at. So, yeah, if that means that we've got a stronger 13-14 team now than a 11-12, there's fewer players we've used over the last few seasons, then it's fantastic. And moreover, what a great incentive for the lads in the twos to see you keep working hard in the twos. You do the hard grind, you get your chance, you've got all that support around you, and there's a good chance you're going to make a solid first team player as well. So yeah, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, brilliant. That's a good assessment. Right. Joe, final points before we disappear?
No, it was just great to watch, and very appreciative for Henri and Keegs giving up a bit of the time to come and speak to us. It was really great, really brilliant. It's made my week at work a lot better.
Yeah, me too. It was, I appreciate you putting it together, Joe. And again, Keagan, Henri, you've done a great job there. You learn a lot from that, in good standard of cricket, so keep that going forward. Keegs, your final assessment before we conclude?
Not much, really. Just appreciative of all the feedback and all the, comments and appreciation of the knock, really. And hopefully it carries on, which I think it will.
Yeah, good lad. Henri?
No, just obviously, like Keegan said, it's nice to get and nice to be a part of a club where you get a lot of appreciation for doing well. Like we've had a lot of messages, both of us, from people saying, well done, sort of thing. It doesn't go noticed. It's very created.
Yeah, it has got, we have got that camaraderie now, and you young lads, whilst you're all still funny and daft and it's great, you're proper club players. You're really cementing your place in the club, and I think it's just worth mentioning before we disappear. How good is it that Charlie's there? Henri's dad, to watch him on Father's Day do what he's done, and Warren's there, sat throughout it all, watching Keagan to get the innings you've got. Those things will last forever. So well done, both of you, and thanks very much for dialing in. So there's nothing else. I think I just pressed the leave button, Joe, and the recording will be saved. I hope it did start. Thanks everyone for listening. We will be doing another one next week, and it will be against the winner for the Lowerhouse draw.
Right.
So make sure you tune into that. And thanks everyone for listening.
Sweet.
I'll press leave now, Joe.
Ordered. Send more house to save the house.